those of you that have followed on my Instagram may have discovered that I have a new toy. It was an anniversary gift because it keeps not happening when we try and save up for one. There's always a bill or something. So. And yes, I have a lathe, and it's from Axminster. It's the end of the hobby series, which is now becoming the craft range, I believe. And it is a really beautiful piece of kit. One tiny downside is, if you can see that, that bit there, there we go. Oh, I'll get the hang of this camera one day. That bit there is the locking mechanism for the tail extension. As you turn that, that's meant to hold it in place. The bit that goes there, and then that can come forward and project and do all your carving bits with it. However, as I was using it, put this in, screwed it in, didn't go in, didn't overly tighten it or anything. But it pulled out this nut straight out of the cast iron housing and shredded the threads on the inside and turned it into a perfect hole. So I thought now is the time to test the Axminster customer services, because I've never really had to before. And after hours, about 9 o'clock one evening, I took a picture of this, that on there, and said, you know, this is what's happened, this is the make of the model of my lathe, and sent it out to them, hoping that something would come in return, or they'd get back to me. About 3 PM the next day, I have received an email back saying, yep, not a problem, looks like that's just pulled out and threaded, so we'll get a new part sent out to you. Can we have your, address details and delivery info, that kind of thing. So I replied within about 4 minutes of the email being sent and gave them my address details. Said, yeah, that'll be brilliant. Here's a photo of the broken casting. This bit. Took a photo of that and said, purely just so that we don't, there's no mix-ups, this is the casting. I knew Axminster knew what they were talking about, but I've just had so many issues with bad communication over email and, yeah, dodgy companies in the past. So they did this, and then about 10-15 minutes after I'd sent that email, I received another email from Axminster saying, thank you for completing your order. It'll be being shipped shortly, which I thought was pretty quick. And then, by about 9:30 the next day, so only around about 36 hours from when I sent the initial out of hours email, I received a parcel. A brand new one with a welded in nut, and they sent me out a new little handle as well. I've got to strip down the old one and fit all the pieces to this cracking new casting, but that's fine. And it seems that if that's from the hobby range, then that's from the craft range. And that looks like it's going to be an awful lot more comfortable to use. Not that the thread in the old one was bad, but this one looks even better. They seem to have really improved it, so I thought it'd be interesting to have a small comparison. After that wonderful, beautiful service, I just couldn't, honestly, 36 hours from an out of hours email, just after they'd shut, to getting a brand new casting on my doorstep. They were absolutely brilliant. No quibble, no query, just like, yep, not a problem, we'll get it sorted for you, we know you need to get on. So I am very, very grateful to them, and this video is basically going to be about stripping down the old one and redoing a new one, and fitting it all into the new one just in case anybody needs to. So let's get on with that. Right then, What we're going to need, and I haven't taken it to pieces yet to practice, so this is completely on the fly. Spanner, Allen key or hex key or whatever you wish to call that type of thing, and ideally you'll want some circlip pliers, but you need the spanner to take off this bit. Allen key for the grub screws in this handle, and then see if I can get this in there. There's a little circlip just there that'll need to be pinged off. So ideally you need a pair of pliers that can open them and close them, but I don't know where mine are, so I'm going to be using a normal set and trying very hard not to stab myself. Right, so first bit, let's see if we can't strip this down. Nylock locking nut, beautiful. And that's going to be held, that's held in there by that bar. Okay. Again, don't copy me, because there is absolutely no way that I am doing this orderly and safely. So please find a much better, safer way to do this than how I'm doing it. There we go. Now that should drop out. And that should drop out. And that's that. So that's been offset turned, so that as that's in there, it'll come up and round and lock it in place when you need it to, and release it when you don't. That's enough. Yep, there we go. It comes off there, and that slides out like that. Beautiful job. There you go. It's all stripped down. And we just got to reinstall it in the new one. Again, there may be some sizing up to do. With getting this bottom bolt on. There we go. Where's it gone? Make sure that's in the right position. lock off. That's the action it's meant to have. Lovely. And so then there's just this bit left. Now again, this is the only bit where it might do, in case you need to know how it works. That slightly offset turning that we showed before just pulls like that to tighten it, and then pulls like that to loosen it. But how far this goes up that'll be the only bit that's actually got an issue on it, I would have thought. Right. Now to get this lovely circlip back on. There we go. Obviously you can do it without the pliers, but it does work much better with. You're right. If I remember right, it was about there, but then all you've got to do is just slide that loose onto your lathe, turn the lock, and then see if there's any movement. If there's no movement and it locks securely, you've done it right. If it doesn't quite get to the point where it's locking or it won't slide on, then obviously it's too tight. And if you put it on and there's loads of movement in it, then obviously that needs to go on just to squeeze further, and then just do it. Maybe just one flat face turn at a time. So just a sixth of a turn. But yeah, there we go. From broken to brand new and gorgeous in about 36 hours. Thank you, Axminster, and see you around YouTube. See you on the next one.